I'm Ashley. I'm here for TravelTrim, and I'm going to be interviewing my friend Dr. Dwayne McKinney. He is a pharmacist. Dwayne, why don't you tell us a little bit about your work?
Well, I've been a pharmacist for about 20 years, in the pharmacy for about 33 years. Currently, I'm working retail overnight. So I've been doing overnights for about maybe 18 years or so. That's about it, filling prescription.
Now, when you say overnights, what does that look like in terms of shifts for you, on, off?
Okay. So I do a 9 to 7 shift.
9 p.m. to 7 a.m.
9 p.m. to 7 a.m. Tuesday to a Tuesday. So what it looks like is I go in at 9 o'clock on a Tuesday, get off at 7 o'clock that Wednesday. When I go in 9 Monday night, get off Tuesday at 7 o'clock, I won't come back until that following Tuesday.
Okay.
So a week on, a week off overnight is our shift.
Okay, and you've been doing that for 18 years?
About 18 years, yes ma'am.
How do you manage to be a husband and father to 6 children that are still school-aged and work nights like that?
Difficult, and it would be a lot more difficult without an amazing wife. So
Probably the best piece of advice.
Yes. If you don't have a partner and you have kids, a partner that's not pulling their weight and more, then it would be almost impossible to do that. So thank God for an amazing wife.
Absolutely. Now, as a medical professional, you obviously know how important quality sleep is. How do you get good quality sleep with shift work, where you're working overnight?
Good quality sleep.
How do you get good quality sleep?
Well, I don't know how other people would get good quality sleep, but I'm probably not a good quality sleep kind of guy. But I think a dark room, so certainly blinds. If you have family that's home during the day, certainly a closed, quiet room, maybe a corner in a room, a corner in a house where you can possibly, get some sleep where there's not a lot of traffic. Me, I'm a little different. I grew up in a night city, New Orleans, so didn't sleep as much anyway. So we got dressed to go out at 11, 12, midnight, right, to go out. So we hung, to that next morning. So I was used to being up at night, and that's why I thought night shift would be perfect, because I was up a lot anyway. Even during school, I'd be up 3, 4 in the morning studying, and I had 8 o'clock classes, and it was still never a big problem for me personally. So I kind of operate on about 4 hours of sleep, and with 6 kids and we homeschooling, I take about 10 naps a day because I'm always getting woken up. So for me, I'm a little different than probably the most, but mainly dark room, corner of the house where you're away. If you have family that's home, would probably be the best. We also used, quiet noise.
Like white noise machine.
White noise, right? White noise machine. We have one in the room now, so that kind of helps drown out some of the things that go on in a home that's busy.
Do you ever take natural supplements like melatonin or anything like that to help?
For me, I have not, because I've never had a problem really with staying up, and I certainly never had a problem with going to sleep. Right, so thank God for that. But certainly it's helpful, and I think one of the things that appears to be helpful when I talk to other pharmacists and other staff members that work overnight is not doing a lot of the stimulants during the day, doing an hour night shift, right? So there's coffee, there's 5-hour energy. I know guys that do 2 5-hour energies a night, coffee, and then it's hard for them to sleep
during the day.
So they need, something to help them go to sleep. But if you're having a problem, then certainly not drinking some of the stimulants so late or early, depending on how you look at it. Maybe cut it off after 3, 4 a.m.
Got it.
So by the time you get home, then you're able to fall asleep and stay asleep. But certainly melatonin would be something short acting. If they really needed some Benadryl or something like that, then maybe something that's short acting, 3 to 4 hours, and then they're not having a hangover effect when it's time to get up and go to sleep. So I would recommend that.
How about exercise? Is that important to regulate the wake-sleep cycle?
Right. So at one time in my career for the 18 years, I used to go straight to the gym.
When you got off?
Great. I mean, if you have an opportunity to do that, for me, that would be the best, because once you work out, you're feeling good. But once you get home, take that shower, I mean, you're out, and nothing can really wake you up, you know. So certainly, if that's an option, that would probably be the number one option before taking, you know, medicine or anything like that to kind of stay up and put you to sleep. So.
You mentioned if they're having a problem to cut back on stimulants. What should someone recognize in terms of it's actually a problem? They're not getting good quality sleep. What are some signs and symptoms that shift workers should look for to say, hey, this isn't working, maybe I need to go see a doctor for assistance?
Mm-hmm.
What symptoms should they look for?
Well, I would say mostly is the mental symptoms, right? Because certainly shift workers, you're kind of doing repetitive work. And when you're finding yourself forgetting that you did something, forgetting to count, like for us pharmacists, if I'm really tired, then I'll find myself missing a count. And I'll have to count something 3 and 4 times to make sure I have 60 pills in the bottle, right? Usually one time you're good, right? We count by 5s and we count pretty fast. But when I'm tired mentally, I have to really focus, and then understanding that, hey, you might need a Mountain Dew, or you might need a Coke, or a cup of coffee to get you through the night if it was one of those days where you really didn't get a lot of sleep. So really understanding the mental aspect of it, because your body, you can kind of go through the motions, but mentally you find yourself slipping a little bit. And if you can catch that early on, then you have a much better chance of understanding your body, because everybody's just a tad bit different. But I notice mentally, almost everybody checks out a little bit. They're kind of going through the motions. And obviously, you know, some jobs you can't just go through the motions.
Correct.
Right, so understanding that early, and then making sure you do whatever your stimulant is, then you might need that for that day.
Got it. Now, before we end this, what are some tips and tricks, those that are new to shift work, that they might be able to regulate to the constant on-off, like week on, week off? How do I navigate those body changes? And then also the veteran that might be getting a little bit older and needs a little bit of help in terms of continuing this job because retirement is around the corner. Or what are some tips and tricks that you might have?
Yeah, first and foremost, once again, understanding your body, right? So for instance, going in the first night, maybe getting up a little early so you can get that nap in. So for me, I normally try to get up early, maybe 5, 6 o'clock, then laying down about 3 because I get up at 7. And then that first night tends to be a little harder, but then now you're able to switch over to that night shift, because now when you get home, you're really tired. So obviously, if you incorporate the working out after that,
right,
you're really tired. So you're able to sleep the whole day that first day, and then your body is back on that cycle, right? Usually it takes a day or so to get back right, but if you're doing some of the things, not doing stimulants during the day, because some people drink coffee every day, right? So stay away from some of those if you're trying to get your body back right. And then my last day, I usually come home and take maybe a 2-3 hour nap, and then get up.
Like first thing in the morning.
Once I get home, just to knock the sleep off, right? If I have, because if you stay at home, you're gonna fall asleep, then you'll be up all night. So if you can come home and get a 2-3 hour nap in to kind of knock the sleep off.
Like a full sleep cycle.
Right. And then you're up and doing your normal routine, daytime routine, and then you're able, come 8, 9 o'clock, I'm ready to go. So Monica will tell you, I disappear.
Monica, you're like, I'm going to bed.
Right. So that seems to work for me, and it's been working well for me and some of my other colleagues as well. Not change. Some of them stay up the whole day, and I did that as well. But you're walking dead then. right? So I would recommend, a short nap, and then your normal daytime routine, and then whatever time you normally go to bed, 8, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, whatever, you'll be able to sleep through the night without getting up. 'Cause a lot of people sleep and then they up 2, 3 hours at 2 o'clock in the morning, and they up wide awake, can't sleep, and they never really get on that daytime or that change cycle.
Right.
So staying away from the stimulants. A quick nap when you get home.
On your last day.
On the last day. Right. And then once again, the whole shift, once you switch, because the main two is the first day and the last day. Right. So if you can capture that and have a nice routine for that, then the in between shouldn't be as bad, because now you're on a regular schedule.
That's fantastic advice. Is staying hydrated at all important in regulating sleep cycles?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, what I do, once again, I take me a nice big canteen of water. I drink that throughout the night, right? Now, once again, you have to watch that as well, because you'll be up more during the daytime using the bathroom. But it certainly helps regulate, right? Because you're hydrated. When you're not getting sleep, a lot of times you get headache, you're dehydrated. A lot of times you're sleeping during the day when your body thinks you should be eating, and drinking. So daytime sleep, you tend to get hungry, so you tend to get the headache, dehydrated, because you're not drinking when your body feels you should be drinking. So my night drinking, I usually drink warm water, right?
Like warm or room temperature?
Warm, right? Like tea.
Okay.
Like tea in the canteen keeps it, the
warm.
Yeti keeps it warm almost most of the night, right? And I drink that, and that certainly helps with the hydration, right? And then I'll still do lunch like it's daytime, like 2 in the morning. I do 1:30 to 2. I do a lunch. Try not to eat as much, but certainly doing that lunch, because you're on a different shift. If you're trying to wait till the daytime to eat, then you're gonna be waking up. That's gonna be breaking your sleep.
Right.
So if you're trying to stay on a regular schedule, it's gonna be a lot harder, because you're not on a regular schedule.
Right.
Right. So if you're trying to eat with your family at 2 in the daytime, now you gotta wake up and eat, and then try to get back to sleep. A lot of people waking, breaking their sleep, it's harder for them to get back to sleep. Like me, I don't have that problem, because I've been doing this so long and having kids, homeschooling. Somebody's always home, right? And I'm always hearing things, so I'm used to waking up, doing something, and going right back to sleep. But a lot of my colleagues have problems waking up and falling asleep, right? So if you're not eating on your night shift and you're waiting for the daytime, you're just never gonna get that proper sleep, and then that's gonna affect your shift work.
Absolutely.
Right.
So let me see if I can summarize. We talked about making sure that you prepare day of going back to night work, getting up a little bit early so that you'll be more tired to take a nap, so that you can go to night work.
Right.
And then the last day that you get off, coming home, getting a full REM cycle, 2 hours, and then up and functioning until bedtime.
Correct.
Hydration, exercise, and then eating something as if you were doing a midday meal, but you're doing a mid-shift meal.
Correct.
Wonderful. Staying away from too many stimulants. And then, if necessary, talking to a medical provider about maybe some supplements to assist with the sleep cycle.
Correct. Melatonin.
Did I miss anything?
No, that
And a good partner.
Right.
To help with the home stuff.
Right. Certainly, if you have kids, you're gonna definitely need a good partner, a great partner, because the 7 on, you're really not there.
Right.
Right. You can possibly do a few things, but for the most part, your 10 o'clock in the morning when you possibly getting home and getting situated is your 10 o'clock at night. Right. So they're home. You may be able to get up in a pinch, right? But for the most part, you're almost like you're out of town, right?
So it would make sense that you actually really schedule like super important things on that off week.
Correct. So
some forethought into planning activities and events.
Correct. So you understand, you know, you have that week on, week off, so you know the whole year. You can plan your whole year. Like we try to plan most of our events, right? Obviously birthdays and different things like that. We try to plan that on an off week. It doesn't always work out,
right?
But certainly try. Monica keeps a calendar and can't commit to anything unless, hey, let's look at the calendar. And then let's figure out, you know, when we're going to do this party, or when we're going to do this event, or when we're going to do this rites of passage. So having
when we're going to do a friends night.
Right, friends night. Right. We're going to do a friend. Okay, he's off today. Start back tomorrow. Okay, Mondays will be great, right? So this is a great opportunity to plan out a whole year, because you know if you're not doing shift work, you know it kind of fluctuates a lot of time, right? So it's harder to plan 6 months from now.
Right.
When that wedding is coming up, right? So be able to do that in advance. I'm able to switch with my partner. I'll take off, you know, well in advance of a wedding, birthday, or event, you know, something like that. So it's great, and that would be the reason why I'm still doing it, you know, almost 20 years later. And I guess it is 20 years, yeah. Well, I just made 20 years. December made 20 years.
Congratulations.
20 years of Walgreens. So, but yeah, so and that helps because you're working 6 months out the year, right? So you're working.
So there are advantages
that's the
to
advantage.
this work.
Yeah, that's the reason why Monica has put up with it for this long, because it's 6 months on and 6 months off. You know, so we always be working. And when people ask me, how you like overnight shift? I say, no, 7 on, 7 off. I say, I do it for the 7 off.
Well, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. Thanks for your expertise, and congratulations on 20 years.
Okay, thanks a lot. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right.